All right, let's get this thing started. Give me just a couple of minutes to prepare here. I always need a couple of minutes. Right, I got some videos to show you guys. We got some things to talk about. Anime, of course, anime. Yeah, baby. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good, guys. Hold on. You see, the problem is why it takes so long sometimes is because, like, I'm trying to check. See, while I'm recording, I'm also trying to look at the chat at the same time. That's why I thought about getting two screens. I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, but it's better to have two screens, especially when you're streaming. All right, here we go. Better to have two screens, especially when you're streaming. All right. All right, I'm gonna wait just like 1 or 2, like 2 minutes, just to let some people, into the let some people into the chat, to the live stream. This is going to be fun, man. This is gonna be really fun. Got some cool things to talk about today. All right, so let's just give it a moment. Ooh, yeah. If you're listening to the live recording, you might want to skip like 5 or 10 minutes ahead. Ooh, yeah, baby. Yeah, so man, I found some funny stuff on some funny things have been have been coming up as far as Hollywood, as far as Hollywood, American cartoons, the good old stuff. I gotta get my my little water ready here. When I talk too much, I also want to make sure I don't dehydrate. Dehydrate. By the way, does anybody know this guy? Anybody know this guy here? This is Joey. Joey, the anime man. He's very popular on YouTube. He's got like I think like 2-3 million subscribers. He's like super popular, very popular. And I don't know if he's married, but his girlfriend is Aki Deris. She's this short, cute, Asian, kind of like chubby girl. She's very pretty. She got these huge boobs. I'm such a guy. Yeah, so Joe is pretty famous. He's part of the podcast Trash Taste. Yeah, Trash Taste. What else? Yeah, Trash Taste has Garned, which is if you guys watch the YouTube channel Giga, they got a good team going on that podcast. By the way, don't be shy. Come on by. I got that from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's one of the pirates that's coming. Alright, let's talk anime. Hollywood and the Matrix, baby. Yeah. All right. So let's get started. Okay, so as you guys all know about the One Piece live action movie that was announced about a couple of days ago, about a week. It's been a week, right? I think it's been a week. Right? It feels like it was yesterday. They just announced it. So I was looking around as to what do famous YouTubers are saying about it. You know, like the top anime YouTubers. You know, the ones that have like millions of subscribers, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and yeah, there's Giga. But I stumbled upon Joey's. Joey the Anime Man. That's his primary YouTube channel. This is his secondary YouTube channel, and here he's basically commenting on One Piece. So let's hear what Joey has to say. And by the way, I'm gonna be stopping the video here and there just to analyze it, and give my my 2 cents on it. Let's go.
It's your boy. So I've gotten a lot of questions about this particular topic, but One Piece live action. Yeah, that's a thing. It seems it is finally happening. It has finally been confirmed with the creation of this One Piece Netflix official account. It's already verified for some reason. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, if you missed out on the news, it seems like Netflix is going to be making a live action series, TV series, of one of the most successful manga series and anime series of all time. Never did we think that we would finally get one, but there you go. That's happening. Romance Dawn episode 101. They've already made 101 episodes. What the fuck? Recently.
Oh, 101 episodes. If you misread that, you would have probably thought the same thing.
A lot of big pieces of, I guess, teaser footage has been released, especially with this logo. The official logo has finally been announced on September the 4th. So
by the way, that logo right there, that's like really freaking lazy. I mean, they why couldn't they just use the regular One Piece logo? It's obviously better. They could have maybe redesigned the original logo, but like they just put Luffy, a little skull here. I don't know. I do not like this logo. The original logo was obviously way better. I guess they were going for like kind of like a Pirates of the Caribbean type of thing. A
couple of days ago of me recording this video, and naturally a lot of you guys have been asking me, Joey, what do you think about One Piece live action? It's happening, baby. Listen, man, I'm not going to be one of those people who immediately just throw away all One Piece live action speculations, or rather just live action anime speculations down the toilet, because if you guys have seen on my main channel, I've made a video where I actually made a tier list of all of the live action anime series of all time, and if you watch that video, you would know not every single one was in an F tier. There are actually quite a few pretty decent live action anime films, but again, go check out my full video, links in the description if you want to check that out. Obviously, I didn't really cover the One Piece live action because it hasn't come out yet, and to be honest, I really don't think enough information about the One Piece live action has come out to warrant any proper opinion about it. But we can learn from, I guess, past examples, past mistakes, however you want to call it, in that I really don't think this is going to end up being great. And it's not just because it's an anime live action.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Joey. I mean, from what I know, just from what I know about the guy, you see, I spend a lot of time watching his YouTube channel, and he's actually a very accepting person of a lot of the things happening with anime. He's not very as jaded as I am, I guess, when it comes to the live action stuff in America, producing anime. It's actually pretty chill about it. It's actually pretty cool about it. He just says, oh, well, I guess, Netflix is doing this. Well, let's just go check it out. He doesn't make any assumptions on it. He doesn't like read the news like most people do, or like the reviews. He just kind of takes it piece by piece, waits for it to come out. Right. So The fact that this has not come, that One Piece has not come out yet, and he's already saying that it's going to fail, it tells you something, okay? And this is from a guy. This is from a guy that has direct connections with people working in the anime industry. I don't know if you guys seen his videos, but along with like Guard and all these guys, he's Joey. He's actually been into an animation studio, into an anime animation studio. He's been to Japan. He lives in Japan with his girlfriend. He lives in Japan with his girlfriend, and he's gone to animation studio. So that's why I decided to bring up this video, because the man lives in Japan. He has connections with people in the industry. He knows people in the industry. So, I actually care about what he has to say. So let's continue.
But specifically because it is a One Piece live action. I mean, look, we've already had a Bleach live action in the past. I've watched the film, and I actually gave it like an okay score. I think I gave it like a B or a C.
Okay, so I'm on his side with this. The Bleach live action movie, it wasn't bad, and I just want to say that I am not a fan of Bleach. Okay, I am not a fan of Bleach. I'm more of a Naruto fan. In the late 2000s and the early 2010s, there was this whole battle with Bleach, and Bleach versus Naruto, and I always sided with Naruto. Bleach never got my attention. I never thought it was like this great anime. So, but I actually enjoyed the live action. I mean, obviously it's not better than the anime, but for what it was enjoyable.
C tier. But here's the big difference between Bleach and One Piece. And I know a lot of people might not see a bigger difference between Bleach and One Piece. Both are shonen anime. Both are from Shonen Jump. Both involve superpowers, fantasy elements, all that kind of stuff. Bleach is definitely rooted a lot more in reality than One Piece is, as weird as that is to say, for a multitude of reasons. For one, the Bleach's character designs definitely look more human, at least in terms of the anime world. They definitely look a lot more human. They definitely don't look...
Yeah, so I want to add something to what he said right there. Yeah, Bleach is very grounded in anime. Okay, so you see these types of shows, the ones that are chosen to become live action, like Bleach and Cowboy Bebop, these are grounded in reality, and the characters look more human than One Piece, just like Joey said. And the reason why Netflix chooses these shows over, let's say, an epic fantasy like The Dark Crystal, which Netflix canceled, is because it costs less money. It actually costs less money to produce something like, the Bleach live action, Cowboy Bebop live action. And recently, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Netflix wanted to turn Avatar: The Last Airbender into an urban fantasy, meaning that it's gonna take place in like a local, like a real city, like in America or Asia, rather than an epic fantasy. So, so it's not like they're trying to go, they're changing things up for their situations, not for the fans specifically.
Look as weird to cosplay as, especially when you compare it to Kubo Taito's original art style. Secondly, at least the beginning of Bleach, when the movie opens up before the Soul Society arc, it is rooted in reality. It is based on a real Japanese town. Ichigo and all of his friends live in a real town. They live in a real city in Japan somewhere, go to a real Japanese school that looks and feels like a real Japanese school until the whole Dukia thing happens, and then he gets dragged out of reality. But what's important is that even at the beginning, even as a setup for Bleach as a series, it starts off in a realistic setting with realistic people. Now, comparatively, take One Piece now and look at it from that lens. One Piece is told in a very, first of all, non-rooted in reality setting. Like, yes, pirates probably existed back in the day, but they certainly didn't look like any of the pirates you see in One Piece. And secondly, Oda's art style, Oda Ichiro, the creator of One Piece, his art style is so incredibly stylized. Like, you can take one look at any One Piece character and immediately be, first of all, instantly recognizable, which is a big benefit for One Piece, especially since with the absolutely endless cesspool of manga out there in the world, you need to stand out as much as you can. And what's the easiest way to stand out is to have a really distinct art style and character design. But I feel that's the biggest issue with One Piece, is the fact that because it has such a distinct cartoony art style, and I mean like seriously cartoony art style, that just is going to make it even more difficult to swallow when you replace that extremely stylized anime-fied art style with real people and real actors. Take, for example, the Cowboy Bebop live action, which was also announced by Netflix. Netflix is on a fucking roll right now. Although a lot of people on Twitter have been complaining about John Cho being casted as Spike and all these people, you know, Faye Valentine, the actress playing Faye Valentine, not looking exactly like Faye Valentine, blah, blah, blah. At least when you compare that to the Cowboy Bebop anime, it is definitely not as jarring of a comparison when you look at the real Spike.
Is that Instagrams?
Hold on.
Right, vibrates.
I got a stupid ad playing. Hold on, guys.
Shows live action Spike Spiegel. Like, yes, there might be some stylistic differences, but I feel that was a conscious decision to make it look more realistic and make it not look as jarring in a live action setting. And you know, people are very quick to complain, especially on Twitter, about it not looking exactly the same as the original source material, like it's not frame for frame perfection. I would argue to those people, that's not the fucking point of an adaptation. I think a successful
Okay, and that's what I was saying about Joey. Joey is actually very forgiving. Like, you know how a lot of like anime fans in the West, they say, "Oh, well, the character for Faye looks nothing like her." And you know what? I like to think that we are right, because you're supposed to look at the character. But Joey kind of like, you know, I guess it's more like a diplomatic way of looking at things. Like you know, he has a different way of looking at things. But he's very forgiving and very accepting of the way that Netflix in America does things.
Adaptation is if it gives off the vibe and if it follows the story, at least in the most part, not at least, you know, not in a sense that it completely is separate from the original source material, then I think it's completely fine to play around. I would argue that a lot of live action adaptations and just adaptations from the source material in general are successful because they deviate, because they give the same yet different vibe from its original source material. But again, when you compare One Piece's style to Cowboy Bebop style, it really is day and night. Because although Cowboy Bebop in its setting is not exactly rooted in reality, its art style is certainly rooted more in reality than One Piece's is. And again, I feel that's what's really going to almost destroy One Piece live action, or rather, it almost negates the entire point of a One Piece live action. Like, you're almost trying to make oranges out of orange juice. Like, it's probably not impossible to do, but my god, is it going to take some manpower to get it right. I mean, again, we've only really seen the logo at this point, which doesn't look too bad. I mean, you still have the sky.
Yeah, sorry, the logo just seems like, why did they change it? I don't get that.
With the, you know, with the straw hat and everything, it looks like the original logo. So, I mean, at least they got that right. At least they didn't completely destroy that. As of right now, we don't really have any information about who is casted, who is going to be playing any of the Straw Hat members, whether they're even going to follow through with the ridiculous character design, or they're just going to keep it as rooted in reality as possible. And again, as weird as this is to say, I feel a little more...
Yeah, and actually talking about... you know, keeping it rooted in reality as possible. Think about Luffy's powers, you know, when he ate the gum and his body became all stretchy. That's going to be the hard part, but because it's not that his body just stretches, you know, like Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four, or Elastigirl from The Incredibles. It's also that his body changes, like it changes shape, like... Because Luffy's basically a rubber band, but he enlarges his fist, make them more powerful. He does all that kind of stuff. But I guess it is possible to do, since we have, who was it, Mrs. Marvel? Although the movie hasn't come out yet. I mean, I guess we could use some CGI for that, but I don't know. It's just the powers are going to be difficult to cast.
Comfortable with the fact that Netflix at least is taking the reins on this rather than say a Japanese production, because God forbid there is going to be an absolute insane amount of CGI having to be used in this. I mean, just trying to replicate Luffy's power or any of the Devil Fruit powers is going to require some extremely well incorporated and clean CGI for it to even be remotely believable. So at least, you know, in that department, we do have more of a Hollywood, you know, Western production of CGI rather than the sore attempt of a CGI production that Japanese industry has. But still, I'm already expecting there to be, you know, some kind of bullshit like whitewashing problems with some of the characters. There's going to be obviously some casting misses, or at least casting misses that Twitter is going to absolutely annihilate for no fucking reason. Like, if John Cho, who is playing Cowboy Bebop live action Spike Spiegel, got destroyed for his casting choice, which I thought was an actual pretty decent casting choice. Like, I think...
Yeah, actually, John Cho, it wasn't a bad casting. It wasn't a bad casting. The only thing is that Spike in the anime, he's 27, and John Cho, he's like 40. But John Cho, I mean, for his age, he doesn't look that old. You know what I mean?
He looks fucking clean. If he got destroyed on Twitter about not looking like Spike, then my God, I'm really like sympathizing with whoever is going to be casted as any of the Straw Hat members, because they are probably going to be annihilated, no questions asked. Look, bottom line, I don't really believe this is going to be a live action adaptation that is going to last the ages, is going to be talked about in 10, 20 years time. Or maybe it will for the wrong reasons, but... Yeah,
it will be talked about for the next 5, 10, 20 years. It's going to be talked about how freaking awful it is. Like the Dragon Ball Evolution live action.
But suffice it to say, I'm not really enthusiastic about this live action. I think it's kind of a terrible idea. It's also just like pointless, to be honest.
Yeah, not many people are enthusiastic about it either, but except Netflix.
Like a better move for One Piece, or a better move for Netflix rather, is to just get the rights to the One Piece anime if they haven't already. And if they already have, then just keep it that way, to be honest. Like, that you really, nobody asked for this. There isn't a single One Piece fan out there that sat back and thought to themselves, you know what would make me a bigger One Piece fan? Live action One Piece. Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic idea. Like, there is a big reason why nobody has touched the likes of Naruto or Akira or Neon Genesis Evangelion in the live action department, because the pressure to nail that and the pressure of the entire world's fan base getting on your ass if you fuck it up would be so immense for any director or producer to do. So honestly, big props to the production team and whoever decided to do this One Piece live action, because they've got some serious balls to think that they can pull this off. I might be completely wrong in this. Again, it's still such little information. The only thing we know is that there is going to be a One Piece live action, and we got the logo. That's about it. That's literally all we know right now. And we don't know who's casted. We haven't seen any trailer footage for it whatsoever. I really don't know what's going to happen. Although the memes have been pretty fucking hilarious. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Let me know.
Oh, wait, hold up. Wait, is that? Oh, wait, I guess I missed it. Anyways. Yeah, so, I mean, I think that... most people just aren't excited for it. They just aren't excited for it. And people are saying the same thing about the Cowboy Bebop live action. It's just that some things should just be left alone and not be touched by the live action movies. And speaking of live action movies, check this out. So on Screen One, they were saying how Netflix Cowboy Bebop is changing the anime and why that's a good thing. Look at the kind of shit they pull. So while the rest of the world is saying, like, no. We don't want a Cowboy Bebop live action. And this here sucks. A lot of people don't like it. Japan doesn't like it. America doesn't like it. The world doesn't like it. But Screen Rant is like, oh, that it's a good thing that Cowboy Bebop is changing the anime. No, it's not a good thing. The anime is way better. It's always a way better. So let's see what it says. It says Netflix Cowboy Bebop is changing the anime for the better with more emotional, mature lead and updated material that reflects the modern times. Emotional, mature lead? What do you mean by that? Emotional, mature lead. Okay, so in other words, that John Cho does not have to completely be like Spike. Is that what they're saying? That Spike is somehow like immature? You know what? Maybe he is. Maybe Spike is immature. But guess what? That's part of the anime and you shouldn't change it. Bunch of idiots. It says an updated material that reflects the modern times. Yeah, I don't like how that sounds. It says Netflix live action adaptation and beloved series Cowboy Bebop is changing the anime. Ever since the TV show released in 1990s, it has been considered one of the greatest anime series of all time and one of the only instances where the English dub version is preferred to the Japanese. Yeah, and actually it's because it's inspired so much by Western movies that it just fits. It fits the vibe. It says Cowboy Bebop follows a ragtag group of misfits aboard the Bebop who struggle to find work as a bounty. Right? Cowboy Bebop has praised, complex, likable characters, its mix of genres, its category-defined soundtrack, and its deep, thought-provoking themes. Netflix announced live action. Okay, yeah. So they're just going over the same thing. It says it would have been a mistake to simply duplicate a series that many fans consider already perfect. John Cho, the lead actor playing Spike Siegel, said in an interview via Vulture that he only agreed to join the project after being reassured it would not be a shot-for-shot remake. I mean, of course, it's not going to be shot for shot, but it should stay true to the anime, which honestly they're not doing. They're actually not doing it. Cho explained it was a recipe for encouraging unflattering comparison. Viewers would fixate only comparing this Cowboy Bebop to the original and Netflix series would fail before it even began. Cho also admitted in the interview that he was initially insecure about his age difference. In the anime, Spike is 27 years old. Cho is 49. Wait, he's 49? Holy shit. One of many differences between Cowboy Bebop adaptations. Cho, he doesn't look that old. Cho can come off as being like in his early 30s. But they could still write the character as being 27. I don't see what's wrong with that. He can better convey Spike's emotional depth, which, considering the show's theme about loneliness and confronting one's past, is arguably more important than sticking with the original character's age. Right? Okay, I see why they would think that. It says some of Cowboy Bebop's material has also been updated with modern times. Faye Valentine's. Yeah, they keep saying modern times. They're acting as if Faye Valentine, like girls, like in the real world, girls do not dress up like Faye Valentines. Yes, they do. Take a look at WWE wrestling. Have you guys ever watched a wrestling show? WWE, or back then we used to call it the WWF. Right? Trish Stratus, all these girls wrestling on TV. All these girls wrestling on TV. Look at the outfits that they wear. They're jumping around, picking girls, so slamming, punching, kicking, doing all that type of shit. And then you have Miss Daniela Pineda that says, oh, she doesn't want to wear sheets of paper like Faye Valentine, getting stuck in her crevices. It's total. It's like, why is it that they pretend like, oh no, this is not really happening like that. Like, people don't do that. Real women don't look like that. Real people don't dress like that. Obviously, they've never been to Latin America, right? Obviously, they've never been to Japan. Don't get me started on places like Thailand and Japan. Like, girls wear that crap all the time. But the reason why they're doing it is because of feminism. Excuse me. Feminism. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so anyways, it says, although some fans express outrage over the change, is necessary adjustment when translating character designs from animation to live action. There's people that cosplay way better than the actors. There's people that cosplay way better than these freaking actors. Oh my goodness. Although another update another update concerns the minor character Grensha Mars Elijah Gu Ekner, nicknamed Gren. Yeah, so Gren, so and they're trying to modernize it by adding all these messages, you know, like the whole non-binary and the pronouns and the 21 genders and all that stuff. They want to add it in there because they think it's cool, but it's not. All right, so really quick on the chat, it said Philip Crowell says Screen Rant say Cowboy Bebop showrunner respond to call fan favorite Ed. Fan favorite Ed? Hey Philip, I'm not sure what that means. What you mean by that? Who's fan favorite Ed? What is that? Or who is that rather? But it says regarding the reasonably behind a change, some fans will only care that it is no longer perfectly accurate and proven by reactions to Faye's outfit. Perhaps they can be sated with the knowledge that the anime's original composer Yoko Kanno has returned and the director Shinichiro Watanabe is creative consultant for the series. Yeah, so they're creative consultants for the series, but they almost have no say. So if Watanabe says, "Oh well, Faye does not look like the actual Faye," Netflix is not going to do it because it's not part of their agenda. They can't, right? So Shinichiro Watanabe and Yoko Kanno, the quote-unquote directors, have absolutely no say. They say creative consultants for the series. They have no say. Otherwise, they would have never let this happen. Going the way it is. Their involvement with the live action project shows that Netflix is committed to creating a series that is faithful thematically and artistically to the original, even if some elements have been updated. They keep saying updated. You're not updating crap. You're just changing it to your own liking. That also proves that they know nothing about the fans, or that they don't care what the fans think. Who was it? There was one movie where like the fans started screaming for a change. It was Sonic the Hedgehog, the live action Sonic movie. When the first trailer came out, I think it was in 2018. The first trailer came out. People were furious. Because Sonic looked like crap. Like the little CGI with the teeth, Sonic looked like crap. And then the fans started talking shit about it on social media. And then the directors decided to change it. And as a result, the live action Sonic movie was a total success. Because they listened to the fans. Said Netflix Cowboy Bebop is changing the anime, and that's a good thing. Alright, I had enough of that. No, it's not a good thing, Screen Rant. No, it's not a good thing. And you know what? Maybe I should stop reading. I should stop looking up news in Screen Rant because they're just advocating for Netflix. That's what they're doing. They're advocating for Netflix. I am pretty sure that Netflix is just paying all these news outlets to write positive articles about the series and why people should watch it. That's what I think is happening. They always buy out the media somehow. Anyways, we're going to stop talking about anime live actions for a moment. And now I am going to talk crap about American animation. And I don't know if you guys heard, but have you guys seen the Aquaman cartoon? The trailer for the Aquaman cartoon? I mean, oh man. All right, let's go ahead and watch it real quick. This is American cartoon, guys. Modern day American cartoons.
He is Aquaman, and he just became king of Atlantis.
Thank you. Is there a different throne we could...
No.
And the fate of his people, of his home, of all the world is in his hands.
That's right. So yeah, no pressure.
Join Aquaman for the undersea adventure of a lifetime. Aquaman, King of Atlantis, new special event streaming October 14th on HBO Max.
Why are they calling it the animated trilogy? The animated trilogy, as if it's like part of, you know, other bigger shows, better shows that have come out. So this is American animation, and it's pure laziness, okay? This is pure, total laziness. And I'm going to tell you exactly why they do this. I'm going to tell you exactly why, you know, they decide to make these cheap shows like this, you know? So first of all, notice how they make the main character, Aquaman, look like a total moron. They always make the guy, you know, either a loser or dumb or an idiot. And then they make the girl like super smart, like very intelligent, better than the guy. And they do this for a reason. And some people say, oh, no, it's not because of an agenda. Look, we've seen it in movies and cartoons and in comic books so many times that it's an agenda. Guys, it's an agenda that they're doing this. And because this is not what the populace want. I mean, take a look at the Aquaman movie with Jason Momoa. It's absolutely incredible. And this Aquaman is basically nothing like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. If they were trying to make a continuation, right? If it's based on the movie, then they did a horrible job. Like, Aquaman is not like an idiot like this. Come on, guys. Come on. You guys can do better. Philip Crowell on the chat says, comic books say Pokemon will be a live action movie, not a TV series on Netflix. It's on there. Yeah, so the Pokemon live action movie was actually pretty good. It was actually well made, you know, for the simple fact that they weren't trying to impress you, you know, like the Pokemons were CG, of course, but people were actually happy with it. You know, there weren't many people complaining about it because they just wanted, like, people did not want the Pokemons to necessarily look super realistic, you know, or like a realistic version of Pokemon. They just kind of wanted, you know, it's similar to Space Jams. Space Jams where like Michael Jordan is playing with the Looney Tunes. Michael Jordan is a human, and the Looney Tunes is just a cartoon. They kind of wanted something similar to that, with the Pokemon live action, and we got it, and it was very successful. So the Pokemon live action is actually really good, and. But anyways, back to this shit. Aquaman, King of Atlantis. Give me a break. Okay? And basically, it's from the same creators of Thundercats Roar. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember Thundercats Roar.
This place is chock full of trouble.
I mean, look at this cheap crap. This is cheap. And it's supposed to be for kids. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead and make your kids shows, but it's not gonna be successful. Thundercats Roar is already canceled after one season, I think. And rest assured, Aquaman, King of Atlantis is also going to be canceled. Just you wait. Just you wait. Okay? So, one of the reasons why they decided to go with these cheap shows is because, let me give you an example. Avatar The Last Airbender, it takes about $1 million per episode to make, it takes $1 million to make in Avatar The Last Airbender episode. $1 million per episode, right? So it turns out to be like almost $20 million that they spend, right? Almost $20 million that they spend with Avatar: The Last Airbender. So with shows like this, with crappy shows like this, it only takes about $500,000 to $600,000 to make a shows like this. It's way cheaper. It's more affordable. But as a result of it being cheap, nobody gives a crap. Okay, nobody gives a crap about it because it's cheap. You know, it's the really nice shows. You know, the Justice League, the Avatar: The Last Airbenders, the Young Justice, those types of shows that we used to get back in the days. The traditional He-Man from the 2000s. It's that type of show that actually gets toy sales. Those are the types of shows that when they put money in it, it actually generates more money. But if you take a look at this, who's gonna buy this toy? Who's gonna buy toys of these ugly cartoons? I mean, these cartoons are ugly. They're very grotesque. Very grotesque. Nobody's gonna want to buy toys of that shit. Okay, that's the problem. You know, so they gave Aquaman the Thundercats roar treatment.
All the Thundercats.
They always take a popular intellectual property, an old popular cartoon from the 80s, the 90s, or the early 2000s, and then they bring it back and they mess it up. And they say it's for the kids. But look, if it's for the kids and if you want to sell toys and video games and all that stuff and merchandise, if you want to make money, you would put more effort into something that people actually want to freaking buy. And this is not it. This is not it. You know, that's why we have crappy shit like, the Teen Titans Go. Very cheap shows, very cheap to make, and that's what they make them. You know, this is modern day American cartoons. There's no aspiration. It's just pump and dump. It's just pump and dump. That's what it is. Just create content out there for people to consume. Forget about quality. We don't need quality. Just a moment. Just want to see. It's American cartoons. And hold on a second. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, another thing that I want to cover on this episode of Andy Arts Live. Oh, wait a minute. Another thing that I want to cover is this image right here. This image right here. You see, do you notice something? Did you notice something about them? They're very easy drawings. They're very easy to draw. This is American cartoons. They're very easy to draw, very easy to put out. Steven Universe and all these other. Is this Gravity Falls? I don't know. I don't watch American cartoons anymore. But this is the artwork. This is the amazing work of American cartoons. They all use the same tactic. They're very cheap and fast to make. As a result, nobody ends up caring about them. And yeah, so take a look at them. It's basically the same art style that they're using. Yeah, same art style. Same cheap art style, because anime is made with, for the most part, anime is made using similar techniques. A lot of anime use the same technique to draw characters. But it looks better. It looks beautiful. It's more visually appealing than this grotesque looking show, for God's sakes. Alright, so enough about American cartoons. I want to go on and talk about China and Hollywood. China and America's love for China. Well, Hollywood's love for China, how they pander to China, because, and the reason is because they have, how many people do they have? 1.5 billion people in China, or probably more. I think they almost have like 2 billion. Because you gotta remember, China is a very huge place, guys. So it's a very huge place. And Hollywood is always pandering to China. I mean, a lot of Hollywood scripts and casting pandering to China box office. Because, and the reason why they do it is because they want more ticket sales. Ticket sales that will end up generating billions of dollars with their population. Get 100 million Chinese or 200 million Chinese to watch one American movie, and you can make billions of dollars. Okay, that's a fact. That's a fact because now more and more Chinese people are watching Chinese. So it's funny because here in the West, in America, North America, while more people are building home theaters and doing all of that, less and less people are going to the movies, especially now with the lockdowns. And there's this whole movement of creating a home theater now, especially now with video streaming services. So that's where kind of like the West is moving, like developed countries. But in Eastern Asian countries like China, that they've only had their economic boom in the last 20 years. Like they love they love going to the movie. Going to the movies is actually a great experience for them. It's an incredible experience for them, right? So that's why Hollywood is try so hard to reach them, because they, their population is much bigger, and if only 25% of their population goes to the movies, Hollywood banks gigantically. So since Hollywood is pandering to China, my question is, what are they going to do now that China is banning sissy idols and effeminate men, scruff from entertainment industries? And look, I know I talk a lot about the agendas of like the entertainment industry in the West. Some people may not like this discussion, but look, in the West, we had an increase of what is called, like beta males in movies, the beta males that become superstars, like Jonah Hill and what's that other guy's name, Michael Cera. If you guys watch their movies, they're basically kind of beta in a way. So while the West tries to feminize men by making them wear dresses and doing this and that, and they make effeminate men, and we saw this with the Star Wars Solo movie, with with a lot of franchises, where man just they emasculate men, right? While the West effeminizes, makes men feminine, or encourages men to be more feminine, China wants their men to be more masculine, okay? It's from the BBC coming. China promotes education drive to make boys more masculine and manly. Right? And the reason is because China does not want to be like America. They don't want to be like the West. They want to be themselves. They've always been a conservative country. So how is Hollywood going to pander to them? Because Hollywood has an agenda that they always add in their movies. So is Hollywood going to start changing their scripts and their cast to appeal to China? That's my question. Or they're going to forget about China altogether, and they're going to find another market like India, for example, which I think I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm not really sure, but I think Disney is now trying to pander more to India than to China, but not exactly pandering to India, but rather like trying to reach more viewers, more of an audience there, than in China, as China is becoming, harder and harder to please and to deal with, like, Hollywood and a lot of other American companies and Western companies, they're going to look elsewhere. They're going to look at, other places, to other places and other people that they can deal with. Well, they can get more customers. Really, that's really it's about at the end of the day. Because you got to remember, countries like China, India, in that part of the world, they have more people. They have like each of those countries has over 1 billion people. So there's a potential of getting more customers. At the end of the day, that's the purpose. So China is banning sissy boys and effeminate men. And when we say sissy boys, sissy idols, and effeminate men, we're talking about kind of like the K-pop flower boys. You know what I'm talking about? The K-pop flower boys, the feminine boys in K-pop. My sister loves these guys. The flower boys, they call them. They wear makeup. Okay, they wear makeup. They wear lipstick. I don't know too many guys out there that wear makeup. Makeup is not primarily a boy's things to do. Makeup is mainly worn by girls, by women, by females. Hold on a second, guys. Whew. I mean, take a look at this. Look at his face. Look at the lipstick. Girls. He looks like a girl. And this is what China is banning. They want their men to be more masculine, more, to look more manly. For them to look more manly. And it's not just America. A lot of countries are going to be affected by this, especially in the entertainment industry. Because countries like Korea, Korea's K-pop industry, they also interchange with other artists in China and in Japan, So it just makes you wonder. Hollywood scripts casting pandering to China. I should have made a video about this. It says Hollywood has long been accused of pandering to China, soft pedaling in order not to give offense. Now comes in a study by Hong Kong production company Dragon Horse Films, attempts to quantify just how far Western entertainment conglomerates are self-censoring. Yeah, it's true. Hollywood self-censors, for China. Says the company says that there is a correlation between the size of Chinese box office and the number of Hollywood decisions to avoid negative Chinese storylines and characters. It says that a tipping point occurs in 2011 when the Chinese theoretical box office exceeded 2 billion. That putting it apart with grosses from Japan and, of course, to become the world's largest box office territory. China's box office last year hit $6 billion and is now forecast to reach $8 billion in 2017. I mean, by now probably it's like $10 billion. With the rising importance of mainland China's box office, Hollywood and Hong Kong producers routinely self-censor stories to appease Beijing's strict censorship, rules say. Michael T. George, MTG, who contributed to the report, that means anything intellectually challenging is to be avoided. No politics, no social issues, not even a whiz of irony. And authorities must always be portrayed in a positive light, unless they are corrupt foreigners. Yeah, so I'm wondering what's going to happen with that, All right, so on the chat, it says Vincinger, aka El Otaku, says, but will Hollywood have the balls to leave fake markets like the woke markets? Probably not. Probably not, because I don't know why. It still doesn't make any sense to me as to why they pander to the Twitter mob. You know, it's for all of us YouTubers. It's still a mystery. But I have my theories. I have my theories as to why Hollywood panders to the Twitter mob. You know, to the snowflakes on the internet. And I think it's because, I mean, and I keep saying this agenda. This is a conspiracy theory. And it's because they want to pander to the people who are pushing for things like identity politics, pronouns, and things like that. Because if they make more movies like that, more people watch these movies, and they'll start subliminally, they'll start associating themselves with those types of characters. Those characters with identity issues, pronouns and LGBT and all this stuff, so that more people will transform into that. It's a conspiracy theory that's going out there, and there's things about it that I think is true, but there's things about it that I disagree on. But this is where in most likely they're probably not going to stop unless China starts to like, because you also have to remember that China themselves, they'll take movies from America, and they'll cut things out. They will cut things out. For example, here's an example. If there's any homosexual scenes in a Hollywood movie, China will cut those scenes. China will edit and cut those scenes. They did that with the Queen's movie. If you guys don't know Queen, with Freddie Mercury, the rock band of the 70s and 80s, they cut out all the homosexual parts of that movie. And if you don't believe me, you guys can Google it. The facts are out there. And then Kwanzaa25 on the chat says, China's laws are ridiculous. They can try to take over our country, but it'll be a fight. I mean, as far as like China trying to like take over other countries, I mean, they might be able to take over a country like, I don't know, maybe like Southeast Asian countries like the Philippines and Vietnam and Indonesia, but they will not be. I don't think they'll be able to conquer America. I don't think they'll be able to conquer America or China. America or Korea or Japan or Russia, for that matter, because not only do we have a lot of great weapons, but we can beat them. I mean, if a war breaks out, I'm sure we can. I mean, it's gonna be destructive because everybody has a freaking nuke nowadays. China has a nuke. North Korea has a nuke. But it's going to be a fight. Just because they have more people doesn't mean that they're better. The only way that China is going to defeat America in the West is if America becomes so weak, because their people are weak. That's how China's gonna win. They're gonna wait for America to become weak. American men are becoming weak, and isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? This is where the conspiracy theory just kind of falls into place, because American men are becoming more feminine, and Chinese men, China's trying to make their men more masculine. Because if you make the men weak, you cannot win a war. You need strong men to win a war. That's the problem. That's why there's so many conspiracies around this, guys. Anyways, I'm done talking about China. What I wanted to talk last before I end today's live stream is The Matrix. The Matrix, guys. I wanted to talk about The Matrix. Yep. Excuse me. Excuse me. The Matrix is still one of my favorite movies of all time. I have not found a movie that I love as much as The Matrix throughout, since the 2000s. Never found a better movie. Okay, as far as philosophy, as far as action, meaning, everything. I mean, I'm sure there's movies out there with better action, but the meaning behind the Matrix is so deep, so profound, so luring. But anyways, let me go ahead and play the trailer. In case none of you guys have watched it, let's go watch the Matrix Resurrection, Matrix 4 movie. Here's the trailer.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams.
Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
Hi.
Have we met?
One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall.
Time to fly.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
The only thing that matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up. You don't know me, no?
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Alright, so there's the trailer. The Matrix. Oh man, the Matrix. The red pill and the blue pill. So, see all these blue pills. So the reason why they're giving him blue pills is really to suppress his mind. Is to keep him. What's that word? Was it subsidized? No, not subsidized. Shit, I forgot the word. But they're giving him blue pills to keep his mind in the Matrix, so that he will not remember who he is. You understand? Because if he starts remembering that he's the one, that he can do all these things, then the machines, the agents cannot control him. So I think what's gonna happen in this one. By the way, if you guys didn't know, in this movie, his name is Tom. So it's not Mr. Anderson anymore. It's Tom. That's his new name. So the machines, basically put him back into the Matrix after he defeats Agent Smith in the third movie. They put him back in the Matrix. And basically, he's they giving him a new identity, new memories, so and so and so. He has new memories now. His new name is Tom inside the Matrix. Right? What's this? All right, so Kwanzaa 25, it looks cool, but you know how modern entertainment is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Kwanzaa 25. And actually, I was just about to say that. Because what I've noticed about a lot of movies is that they always, I mean, when a movie is really difficult, when they get a movie like The Matrix, well, like they don't want to change it too much to the point where like people get turned off, just like the other movies. They don't want to change it too much, but they'll add in some of those what do you call it? They'll add in some of those identity politics and the LGBT stuff and all that other modern stuff in it. They'll add a hint of that. They'll add a little bit of that. Almost to the point where you can barely notice it, but it's there. Right? But it's there. You can't notice it, but it's there. You know, like I'm pretty sure in this trailer, besides the blue hair girl, which is she's probably gonna be like a strong, independent woman or whatever, like a feminist and all that. Besides that, I couldn't really like find anything else that they could probably do wrong with the Matrix movie. I mean, what I think they're gonna do, they're probably gonna make Trinity look cooler than Neo, like they do in a lot of movies. They were like the lead main character. The lead main character is, they make him look like an idiot, and then they make the supporting female character look like intelligent, like she does everything right. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna like do Keanu Reeves wrong like that. I hope not, because Keanu Reeves, he's made for this part. I mean, he's made for the Matrix. This is his role. This is his life's role, for God's sakes. You know. Keanu Reeves has never had as much success as he had with without the Matrix. This is the movie that made him. Like, seriously, this is the movie that made him. Yeah, so it's safe enough. It's safe enough to not offend anybody. So as I'm looking at the chat. So yeah, so it's going to be safe enough where it's not going to offend anybody. Right, but they still want to pander. They still want to pander to the the Twitter mob, or the snowflakes, the LGBT, they're probably gonna add some pronouns. I bet you. Oh my goodness, I bet you they're gonna add some pronouns in there. There will be pronouns. I tell you, there will be pronouns in this movie. I guarantee it. Probably the blue hair girl in this trailer is going to have pronouns. She's probably going to have pronouns, It's like, my pronouns are he, she, her. Or you, me, they, or whatever. I don't know. I don't freaking know how kids talk nowadays. All right, but honestly, The Matrix is so popular, so iconic, and it's so culturally ingrained in the psyche of society. I mean, if you go on YouTube, there's even like forums and YouTube channels called that run on the red pill philosophy. And what is the red pill philosophy? The red pill philosophy is anything that frees you from false information, right? Like, for example, right now what's going on in the world, like the red pill information will be what is true about the pandemic, what is true about things like feminism, what is true about, and I'm seeing the real truth, what's behind the scene. Let me give you an example. Let me give you guys an example, a red pill example. Okay? Let me give an example of a red pill. So let's take a lot of pop artists, like in pop culture. You have artists like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj talking about like Cardi B, the rapper, the female rapper. You guys remember that WAP song? WAP, 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 which translates to wet ass P word, right? Wet ass pizza. WAP. And in that song, Cardi B talks about how she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean. Okay, she doesn't cook, she doesn't clean, right? But then you go on her Instagram, and there was a video about her like cooking and cleaning for her man. She was cleaning her house. So it's like a lot of these people in like celebrities, they do not practice what they preach. Okay, in front of the camera, in music videos and all this stuff, they'll sing and rap about all these things, but they don't really believe that. Like what a red pill information, for example, would be something like, oh well, all these celebrities, all these pop artists, they sing about love and finding true love, but if you look at their love life, they've been through like 10, 20 people. They've been married like 5, 10 times, and for the stupidest reasons too. People in Hollywood get married and divorced for the stupidest reasons. Right? So that's just an example of the red pill. The red pill gives you the cold hard truth, and the blue pill gives you like what everybody wants you to believe in. Like conventional knowledge would be considered blue pill, and then like red pill will be like what's really happening, what's deep in the water, as to say. All right, but I'm actually really hyped up for this movie. Again, hopefully they don't fuck it up. Hopefully, please, Hollywood people, don't mess it up. I am gonna watch the shit out of this movie, and I'm gonna buy the DVD. I love The Matrix. I still love it, and I like how they have Neil Patrick Harris here. They have Neil Patrick Harris as playing a psychiatrist. And you guys know about Neil Patrick Harris. He said, he's he's known to play some funny roles. So it's almost as if they're trying to tell a joke about psychiatrists. Like, yeah, they're not really trying to help you in a way. That's what I like about the Wachowskis. They always add all this meaning, in their movies. And so you see Neil here, taking a bath, trying to live his life normally. Trinity, she died in the last movie, but I'm guessing the machines probably brought her back, or better said, the directors brought her back. But Trinity was actually supposed to be dead. Neo, on the other hand, Neo did not die. When he defeated Agent Smith, the machines took his body, but like he was still glowing. Neo was actually still glowing. So, Neo actually did not die in the end. He actually did not die. So I really cannot wait for this movie. Is he had to put Alice in Wonderland on the table? This is Alice in Wonderland, basically a metaphor for going into the Matrix, into the rabbit hole. All right, guys. Can't wait for this movie. All right, so that's about it for this live stream. I'm going to go on the chat real quick. All right, so do you guys have any questions, anything you want to say on the chat? Please do so. Yes, I will be reviewing this movie when it comes out. It comes out in December. It's going to be out in theaters and HBO Max. HBO Max is doing the whole theater plus going on the streaming service. They're doing that whole thing. So definitely watch it. All right, guys, that is it for this episode, this live stream. Good night, everybody. Take care. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to comment on this video and share it with your friends. You know, I love doing these live streams. I love talking about the industry. I love talking about anime. I will my channel. I talk about anime, manga, the manga industry. Talk about geek culture, Japanese culture. I also give video game news as well on my channel. If you're into that. So yeah, so be on the lookout. I will be reviewing this movie. Although on my channel I don't talk a lot about Hollywood movies, you know, for reasons that you can probably already understand. But I will be reviewing The Matrix. Definitely The Matrix on my channel. So subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. And this is Andy Matrix, guys. Godspeed.